And there it goes. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the PMA session for this beautiful March 2nd. Isn't it 2nd? I'm going to
Dude,
make sure.
it's March 2nd. It's my daddy's birthday.
I
No
just
way, man.
somehow I just
Happy
clicked
birthday to
myself.
him.
Somehow I just clicked myself out of there. Sorry about that.
There you go.
People text me in the middle of this and back, it's March 2nd, 2022. Weather around the country is kind of crazy. I'm home in Denver for a few days and it's beautiful, sunny, and 65, 70 degrees. This is not the way it's supposed to be, because when I was in Pittsburgh the other day and saw you for about 5 seconds,
Yeah.
it was cold as could be. So
yeah, man.
And what's it like in Pittsburgh right now, Justin?
It's a comfortable 50-ish, 40, 45 to 50. Feels good. I mean, I just had a birthday on February 21st.
Same as mine.
Yeah, that's right. We share a birthday. I'm honored to share my birthday with you. And it was like 59 degrees. It was wild. So there's like, I don't know, like I understand global warming's a bad thing, but if this is it, bring it on, baby. Because like I haven't spent a lot of Februarys in Pittsburgh where I'm just like kicking it outside in a sweater on my birthday. So
what's it like in Chicago, Dan?
It is quite rainy, but it is a solid 40, 45 degrees. And it's been just heaven.
Oh,
I mean, even with it, I'll take the muddy weather. I'll take the wet weather if it means we're easing our way out of winter.
I will tell you, I've had the worst winter's visits ever in Chicago. Something about Chicago rivals Buffalo. I don't know why. Maybe
45 in Chicago in the winter is like, to Chicagoans, that's sort of like Hawaii. You're like kicking it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, speaking of Chicago, a little plug to our boys in Counterpunch. They just released the first song off of their new album yesterday, so we all got a nice preview of that, which was pretty rad. A little heavy, not heavier music wise, but heavier content wise than past Counterpunch. So I'm glad to see they're coming back. Rumors of them playing in Denver in July. So I'm not blowing my own secret. Yes, I am. I'm always blowing my own secrets, but we're working on a festival and we're talking to them. So yeah. Well, you'll be in Europe in July, will you not, there, Justin?
So yeah, we're gonna spend about, it's the obviously it's all pandemic related in a way, because first we were making up for the first canceled summer, and then things just keep piling on top of that. So we're in Europe for about two solid months, and yeah, I'm looking at, I mean, I always look forward to being on the road, whether it's in the US or Europe or any other part of the world. But there's something special about Europe in the summer when it's not cold. Sometimes like it's like it'll be like 55 in Europe in the summer. I've actually like been in cities in Europe. I remember being in Koblenz, Germany in like August, and it was 31 degrees. So at night. So it can get damn cold, but yeah, we're gonna be in Europe making up a bunch of shows, and other shows have been added on, and kind of playing with everybody too. I mean, that's what's really cool. I mean, everybody, because everybody's out making up shows and that kind of thing. We're just gonna cross paths with every single band on the face of the planet, which I'm just really looking forward to it. I feel like it's just gonna be like such a reunion, sort of the way kind of like punk rock bowling felt when you got there. And it's just like, yeah, you grab your friends and hug them.
That was pretty darn cool this year.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, you guys, I feel like we're headed back in that same vibe, This winter's been a fucking drag in a lot of ways. And like, there's light at the end of the tunnel now, though. Like, the spring's coming, and there's going to be an opportunity to see people and hang, and I'm getting excited.
Fantastic. So if you're in Europe, most of you are probably pretty sleepy about right now.
Yeah.
But if you are tuned in, make sure you're there, because Anti-Flag all over Europe. I'm jealous of all the festivals. I was looking at them going, damn, I wish I could drive you over there, but no,
Yeah.
no. Driving over there is a whole nother entity.
We're gonna get you over there. We're gonna get you over there in another entity other than as driver. Punk Rock Saves Lives has not made its foray into Europe physically, right? So
physically not yet. We do have quite a bit of support, and we've had bands ask us to possibly come over, or if we could have events, and we're working on that. We'll have to check to see if we need to apply for nonprofit status over there or whatever, and really getting our foot here. I mean, here's the scary part: we're only 2.5 years old, so it's it's not even 2.5, to be honest. But we've grown. We were crazy lucky that we came out of the architecture of Love, Hope, Strength. So we were running it at the end, and I had been with them for so long that it was kind of easy to build what we became really fast. Getting the support and everything's a little different, but we were able to set up and have the ability to really get after it right off the bat. And I mean, you guys have been gigantic in that. Anti-Flag would have been the very first tour, and kind of ended up being the first tour. So it was really cool to really get out there. We're doing, and I don't even know if you saw this, we're out with Oxymorons right now. They're out opening. Matter of fact, Tina's in Seattle with them tonight. They're out with a rapper named Grandson, and I guess it's hip hop. It's a really cool combination of music, and he's got a really really strong bass. And Tina's so blown away by, between every song, he talks about things that's important to Punk Rock Saves Lives: mental health, suicide awareness, Black Lives Matter, all the stuff that we really get behind. She was like totally blown away, because he's like talking our whole mission through his set, and it's like, oh, okay, And
you're in the right place. That's awesome.
So it's a little foray outside of the punk rock world, but I think it's a punk rock etho, and really cool, and it gives us even more reach, because we need everybody to do good, So it's really cool. So if you're in the Seattle area tonight, you should head down to the Crocodile if it's not already sold out. Or I've come to learn that our buddies in Pairs are there tonight too, so they're in Seattle too. So, and I think they're like basically on the same track. It's kind of weird, because Grandson will be here in Denver Saturday, and I think Pairs are here either Friday or Saturday. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do a little of all of it. It's funny to come home to relax between tours and end up going to a bunch of shows, but but that's what we do, and music keeps me going, and that's the challenging people to do good, and music is the reason we all somehow got involved with this. And
totally, man. I mean, I think that so often with Anti-Flag on the road, especially like when playing festivals and having an opportunity to interact with other bands, and realizing that where musically the bands kind of veered off, but with the ethos, our bands were similar and came together. And over the years, sort of, we've always kind of toured with bands. I think that we're all obviously toured a lot of punk bands and hardcore bands and ska bands, etc. But quite often, like, bands that are just a little bit kind of outside of punk, and sometimes like a completely different genre. And a lot of it just came out of the fact that, like, realizing we had the same values and cared about the same things, and just giving it a shot, like, hey, let's see where this goes. Like, if we bring our audiences together and let's see how they interact, and see if we can find some common ground with people in that way, and open other people up to like a new music or a new genre that they may not have been aware of. And I love doing that. And that was one of the cool things. I mean, there was so many downsides about Warped Tour that I could talk about, but the upside was like being around a lot of different music, and coming across things that I would have just never come across. And that's also what I love about the big music festivals. You see something, you're like, whoa, that's wild. I like, you realize you find somebody and you click with them, and then you take a chance and go talk to them, and see how that goes.
Well, besides that, what's going on with your PMA every day right now? Is Anti Flag doing anything in Pittsburgh? How are you keeping your head above water before these tours? Not to put you on the spot, but what's going on? So,
well, yeah, I don't know. Like, anybody who's kind of in touch with my life a little bit knows, like, my dad, actually, it's my dad's birthday. He's 88. Happy birthday, Dad. I'm at his house right now. I know, 88. Like, what the fuck?
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
88 trips around the sun. I'm like, fuck, that blows my mind. But yeah, I mean, he's elderly for sure. And so I've been spending a lot of time these last 2 years with him, and trying to keep him headed in the right direction. Like, he's independent in a lot of ways, but that independence is going away. And but yeah, he's downstairs, and when I'm off with all of you, we're gonna sing happy birthday, which is dope, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we've been keeping it pretty close to home, other than, we were out on tour with you, obviously. After that, we've been spending just a lot of time at home working on new music. Luckily, like, we're all on the same page as far as like what we've been trying to do to keep the people in our lives safe that we have to keep safe. We kind of tweak our lives depending on, what each other needs and what the people around us need. And I just think, like, what's really kind of kept me focused on what's important during this whole thing is kind of looking out for other people. And that always kind of brings me around to, like, I think, like, thinking about what is the next best thing that I kind of need to do to make sure that what's happening, like for my dad especially, is happening, you know. Um, but also trying to have a little bit of fun and enjoy the people around us, just even if it's just through texting or any of that kind of stuff. But lately, this last month, it's been pretty exciting. I mean, we've written about 25 songs for a new record, and we're just kind of, there's a lot to write about, a lot that we're thinking about. And I will say, like, it's been really fun getting together with the guys, because everybody has kind of like someone in their family that is vulnerable to COVID still, whether it's like immuno issues, or whether it's old age, newborn kids. Two of the guys have newborns. So we kind of weren't really getting together, and we've kind of worked it out now where we're getting together. And that's just like, it's amazing how it feels to get together and just be around each other and rock together. And I love that you do this, though, because obviously so many people haven't had that opportunity, or just still, even if they're around other people, they're not able to maybe connect to the people they absolutely truly love and really rely on. And so, these video calls actually are really, really special in that way. And I think they're important. And I guess they're all here, so you must agree.
they've been really good to us. We would, we were doing these once a week through the heart of the pandemic. We've gone to once a month now, because we're back out in some sort. And it's tough to, most bands, if I'm on a tour, most bands are doing a Wednesday night show, and I don't always have to be here. Dan and Mackenzie have run so many of them without me, but I like to be. And it's just tough, right now. if we can figure out once a month to do them, like you and I did a month ago, to finally get you on one. And so, it it's still a good way to touch back and ground ourselves. Dan is always on the front line of our mental health stuff. I'm sure he's got a few things to add into the conversation tonight. So what's been burning around with you, Dan? What's going on? So.
Man, we've been kicking it this month, getting a lot more group sessions going on. So everything from getting a coffee hour in every Sunday morning just to relax and, wake up, get out of bed, have your bed hair, grab some coffee, and just relax, have that sun that we're getting. We've been running recovery with our subgroup on PRSL, which is phenomenal and a huge part of my free time as well, as I'm great to have them. We've been getting peer support groups, just complete vulnerability and openness with no judgment. I'm going to start running a Men to Men's peer support group this month, to multiple collaborations. We're doing a lot more highlights each month, depending on what the awareness is of said month, days and weeks. So there's been a ton in the works, and very grateful to see it all just flowing.
Yeah, I noticed the what's the name for it that Tina brought up or came up with, where she had the guy from. We've had specific pop-ins. They're calling it something. My brain's gone numb, but so is Dan's. But she started with the OCD and the guy.
The Shred the Light series.
Yep, there we go. And she had and Tina did it, and it was on her mom's birthday, which was good because Tina's mom had OCD very bad when she was alive, and for Tina to sit there with someone that really was an expert and from the OCD Foundation was tough, yet it was also I think very good for her, as well as I'm sure anybody watching. And that's the kind of work we're trying to do behind the scenes. In a way, it's out there, but we're trying to do things and get attention to a lot of things. We're not, we are still doing a lot of bone marrow on the road, because it's a great activation live. It's something we do live and can be done and right then and there. But we've got did she show you there's going to be a one sheet on mental health contacts and activations.
Nice resource page.
Yeah, resource page that is going to be the first rollout of it is the Flogging Molly cruise, and Six Man is running that cruise this year, and they are the new one sheets are going to Six Man, and believe it or not, there will be a one sheet in every single cabin on the boat. So it'll be in their room without us even having to do it. We'll have some for us, but it'll be already in the room. So if anybody has, and hopefully people will take it home and use it if they have any doubts, need someone to reach out to in the middle of the night. There's all sorts of stuff. We always say, try us. If we can be the first step to help you find something, we're here. And I know there's a lot of, Justin and I had amazing talks on the road, and just us, taking care of each other. You know what I mean? And
100%.
It's and Dan and I have a lot of talks, and we'll send each other a blue moon text out of nowhere, and stuff.
I love it.
I do want to challenge, but while that just popped into my head, I want to challenge everybody out there watching. Text 5 people a week in your phone, and I bet you've got thousands of numbers. Everybody's got numbers. You don't even sometimes realize you have a number in your phone, but go through once a week, and it doesn't have to be all at once, just like 5 people a week, and just text them and tell them what they mean to you. Just, I love you. Hey, you rule. You're a badass. Something. 5 people a week. There's a cool little challenge, and
it's a great challenge, man. And I think even if in a week you get 1 out of that 5, that's amazing. I often like, I don't know about you guys, but I'll often like have my to-do list, or I have like my goals, right? And I used to really beat myself up on like, I wanted to do 5 this week and I only did 1. And what I realized, I was like, oh, geez, the fact that I did 1 is a victory, and that you might connect like with somebody who's important to you, that you just haven't told for a long time, I think it's an amazing challenge, Rob. And that's, if you get that 5, that's wicked. If you just write any, like, that's to me like a major win.
Yeah,
Total.
just surprise someone. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to have a context. Just, hey, thinking about you. Hope you're great.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know who you'll help.
Yeah.
I started by accident. I did a thing a year or so ago, and I do want to give huge props to Christopher on Deal's brother. If you're a shipmate, you'll know who I'm talking about. But I did an appreciation post on Facebook, and I just named 5 people, and I just wanted to tell these 5 people I love you, and you're awesome. And I did it like once or twice, and I meant to keep going. And we all get busy, and I meant to keep going. But I will tell you this: he thought it was cool, and he's been doing it all along.
Non-stop.
It's incredible, and I love that someone took an idea that maybe germinated in my stupid little brain and is using it to do good. That's
Yeah.
It's pretty rad. It's
Well, but to me too, that just blows my mind. And just thinking about this, and I think about this all the time, like, just, one person can affect so much change on people, and I mean, just, this idea that all the things that you've done, all the people that I've seen you affect, and like you interact with so many people that you won't remember those people for the most part, because there's no way you could. But the fact that, like, each of those people do go out and touch other people. And I just see examples of that over and over again. I've seen it in my life in music over and over again. I know we've all seen it in this music scene over and over again. And just hearing you talk about it, I'm just like, wow, Rob is one person who had this really cool idea. And I know that he's, in being one person, he's affecting so much change, and I know that you were already doing these kind of things. You did this kind of stuff in your personal life all the time before you were doing this. And I know you're doing Love, Hope, Strength, but this in a way is a much broader mission than Love, Hope, Strength. And it has a lot more reach, I think, in a lot of ways.
It does. And I the cancer part will always be a huge part to me, and I want to help that world. But the fact that we hit a giant problem. We founded, and you were part of the founding, and we founded in November of 2019. What happened 2.5 months later? The entire world shut down. So we tell this story a lot, but it's true. And we were planning to go out there and do some different stuff, lots of food drives, lots of and we are still doing a lot of that cool stuff. But because of COVID and how we all got locked down in our houses, thanks to Dan, thanks to Tina, thanks to Alex, thanks to all the people that really jumped on board, we pivoted in such a cool direction with mental health and just making sure that people knew they had other people like them out there. And that's the whole idea. And there's so many great organizations doing so many different things. And like we've said a lot of times, a lot of our mental health, compatriots out there that are doing great things in the world, it honestly gets factored right into suicide a lot. There's so many amazing groups that are preventing suicide, and that is incredible. But we're trying to work with some other groups and trying to destigmatize the idea that we all need mental health every day. Your mental health is your physical health. It's your positivity on the world. It's your view. And if you need help there, if we can be just that simple first person that you reach out to, none of us are licensed therapists. None of us are medical professionals. We're punks helping punks. And that comes up a lot. And when we say punks, that's like we were talking earlier. It's a gigantic swath. I consider most hip hop as punk rock. It's the same ethos. It's the same underground thing. I just got there we go. Go away. I got a thing on my phone. There we go. And it was 6-man texting about the cruise. So we're hosting, if you are one of the Flogging Molly shipmates, we're going to be hosting the sail away party, the toast, the opening toast. We're going to do some memorials for shipmates that have passed, or if you have anybody. Andrew Gates, if you are on there, is collecting those names and pictures. So if you'll get it to him, we're going to have a memorial table on the boat. We have a bagpiper that's going to do some cool stuff, a couple of songs. We're going to do a big toast, and then we're going to go to mustard drill. Excuse me. It's actually it's muster, but it's become mustard on this cruise for some reason.
Forever will be.
It forever will be the mustard drill, where they tell you how to get in a lifeboat, even though they really don't show you how to get in a lifeboat.
I think that was one of my favorite parts with going on a few years back. Was I turned to my left and Joey Cape from Lagwagon's just standing there, just kind of looking around yeah, nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing, but nobody's paying attention.
Yeah. The first ever Flogging Molly cruise, that was almost 7 years ago, but there's only been 5 because of COVID and everything. But I remember standing in the muster drill and Frank Turner standing beside me, and we're just going, and we're just like Joey, nobody's paying attention. Everybody's already drunk,
Yep.
But
that's
laughing.
sort of like punks go to school. It's just not good. I mean,
Woo!
yeah,
You are right.
yeah.
But the scary part is you walk on those cruises, especially I guess it's every cruise, but especially the music ones. You walk on and the bar is open. People immediately start going crazy, and they haven't done the safety drill yet. And a lot of people don't know where to go for the safety drill. I remember walking around going, wait a minute, I think I'm on the other side of the boat, and all sorts of stuff. And I've heard some of our artists get paged, like they weren't there. And all sorts.
Oh my gosh.
But I will tell you, it's an incredible thing. We'll be having a bone marrow and mental health booth out on the deck this year.
Sounds like it's got to be necessary. So
yeah, out on the deck. We won't be stuck in an inner sanctum of a hallway or something like we have been in the past. We'll be outside. Beautiful. And that's good for health wise and for being there amongst the people to talk and be there. There'll be a cool silent auction going on probably somewhere near the merch. Lots to be worked out in the next 3 weeks, but but it's going really well. And the last one was it was really the launch of Punk Rock Saves Lives. It was our first event and was fantastic. And all of those people really jumped on board. What we haven't talked about, and the hardest part going on in the world right now, and staying positive and taking care of people, and it's obviously central to Anti-Flag, is what's going on between Russia and the Ukraine. Watch the news, guys. The one thing I do want you to know, I want you to be informed, but be careful about getting sucked in.
You don't want to sit there and doom scroll this shit, because it is just brutal. The
news cycle can be incredibly difficult on the psyche. It is on mine. I can, I was joking. I was trying to, I'm home for these couple of days and between these tours, and I need to completely decompress. The feeling. You get back from a tour, and for that first week, it's trying to figure out reality again in a way. But I want to know what's going on in the news, but then I also want it to be something that my mind didn't have to think about too much. And somehow I got on Bar Rescue on some kind of bar rescue marathon. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll see what people are going through and what they can do to improve their bars. And the guy yells at them, and that started to get me down. I was like, oh. So after about 3 of those, I went, no, that's not what I need. So and it's the same thing with news. You can get, I'm an information junkie. I want to know what's going on. I want to know, and I want to know from different viewpoints. And the craziest part about news right now, and Justin can probably tell you this, and it's probably always been this way, but it's even more over the last 10 years, is that it's become polarized to one news service represents one part of our society, one news service represents another side of and some of them go further than that, and in and out and in and out. So shuffle back and forth and see what everybody's saying, because in the middle of that somewhere is probably the truth. But do what's right for you. The charity itself, we stand by what we believe is right, and we're not overly political. We do encourage you to go vote, have your voice out there and stuff like that. We're not going to tell you how to vote. You know how we are. There's no denying what we believe in, but I'm not gonna rule out helping you on the other side. I just, whatever, we got to believe in it. I know y'all have had some incredible posts, Justin. And you have lots of friends over there. We have a couple of friends over there too that luckily, I don't, the Mad Twins, don't you? Mm-hmm. Luckily the Mad Twins are in Spain. They had been asked to come do some work, and now it just happened to be the week all of this went down. So great. I know they're safe. I'm watching a few other friends online and watching for their posts to know how they're doing. There's one of our musician friends basically living in a bunker in his house, and underneath his house, and I try to check on him every day and see how he's doing. But so
well, it's really tough. I mean, especially too, it's on social media, right? And like in a way, you can see war in a whole different way, just so up close and personal from people are participating. And when you talk about like, please protect yourself against doom scrolling and that kind of thing, it's like, I gotta check myself with that stuff too, because it's really just brutal. Like there's only so much my psyche personally, like I can take, and you have to have like we have such a strong connection. Like we made, actually one of the things that we did during the pandemic is we had the time. So we put together a documentary from years of footage that we've just been shooting, and you can find it. It's called Beyond Barricades. It's streaming on Amazon. And at the beginning of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, we had shows scheduled in Ukraine and Russia. So this is way back when now. And everybody wanted us to cancel them. And, our thought about it was like, we want to go be with these people. Like we have friends in both places. We know that none of them want this. And if you remember, there was an airliner shot down, and a lot of people died. And I think it's sort of been determined that the Russians had shot down an airliner. So we just decided to go. And for me, it was one of the most like life affirming things that we did, because we got to be with like 500 punk rockers in Russia. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 500,000 people at a show who just didn't want that. They didn't want an invasion of Ukraine. They didn't want that conflict. We got to play a big Ukrainian festival. And the mood of it was it was so heavy and it was so intense, because people really were questioning whether they would be fully invaded like Russia, which finally has now come. And, people were like, this might be our last music festival for a long time. We don't know what's going to happen. But the overall, what came to light really was like, there's a lot of people in both of these places who have no interest at all in what Vladimir Putin or any other politician out for power and greed and whatever reasons they have for having, for launching a full-scale invasion of another country. They don't care about those things. And so for me, like, man, when this went down, it really crushed me, when this kind of full-scale invasion happened. And it's been a rough week in that way. But the one thing that I'm really reminding myself of a lot, is the fact that it would be so easy. I understand like why people are cheering, like say some
Sorry, Justin. We have a special guest that joined.
Yeah, cool.
Hi, Nathan.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, friends.
Hey.
I did not want to interrupt. I'm so interested, Justin, in what you were just talking about.
Sick.
Fascinating. And I would love to catch up and tell you how beautiful you are and tell you how much I love you. But please don't let me interrupt this. This is really important.
I love you, my friend. Well, my overall point was just like, I understand when people cheer whenever, the Russians get stopped somewhere, because a lot of, I get that. But by the same token, I just want to remind people that don't lose your humanity through this. And what's so horrible about war is it fucking sucks your humanity out of you. And it makes you cheer for people getting killed. And I'm having to like control myself and like protect my humanity, because like I don't want to see a people lose their nation. I don't want to see a people lose their freedom and their sovereignty, but I also don't want to lose my humanity to the point that I'm cheering other people getting killed. And so, but look, this is a complicated issue, and everybody's going to have their emotions and their feelings, and I am too. So, and I'm not going to tell people how to feel, but I just, that's for myself. I'm just like really checking myself and trying to remind myself to hold on to my humanity, because I know war, it's just like designed to like suck our souls, from us. And I just don't want to let it do that to me. And I want to remember that there's good people on both sides of this, and people with families and lovers and good people trying to do good things in the world. And so, so it's been really intense to watch and to see. And, I'm hoping the best for everybody out there. I really am. And I honestly don't see where this is going. It's clearly not going anywhere good right now. And so what we did in Anti-Flag, like we immediately, we did a charity immediately, because there's going to be a huge refugee crisis. We realized there would be. We put signed copies of our old record Mobilize up. We sold 225 or 250 of them, $25 a piece. They're gone. We're working on other charity things that we're going to do. And all that money went straight to a charity in the Czech Republic. It's called People in Need. And we know that they have boots on the ground in that area, and that money is going to go far. It's going to help them do good things in that area. So if you're looking for a good charity, People in Need is a really good one that can have an effect, in that geographical part of the world. And that's what we're looking to do. And yeah, just trying to keep in touch with people the best we can in that part of the world. But obviously, I'm sure like everybody here, just hoping for peace and hoping for the best outcome.
That's an affirmative. And we kind of was going to surprise you with this one, Justin, when I talked to Nathan, and I know y'all have a gigantic mutual love affair, as in friends and
like
fans.
20 years. So, going probably longer. It's pretty amazing. That's the best thing about punk and music. All of our great friendships, all people here.
So we got Nathan to join in for a few minutes. It looks like he's in is that your downstairs little studio?
Yeah, this is the basement, like writing rehearsal demo room. Yeah. Man, it's great to see you, Justin. I miss you, brother.
Yeah, I miss you, buddy.
Matt,
great to see your face. Nice to hear your voice.
Likewise. We were just walking the streets of Chicago a few months back, and we passed the venue that when Flogging Molly was able to open up for Anti Flag
Oh man.
20 something years ago.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I didn't realize that was the venue, but Matt reminded me, and then I reminded
him. Cubby Bear?
I think so, where this
Yeah.
whole stage got pushed back against.
Yeah, man, you got the Flogging Molly cruise. This was like the setup to that, because that stage was like a sailboat.
Yeah. And it sailed all the way back and pinned you guys into the dressing room, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So for those who don't know, like, so during the show was supposed to be at the Metro, but for some reason it had to be because Smashing Pumpkins are playing their final show, and so we got the boot from the Metro. We got kicked out because they wanted the Metro for like a week, so they moved the show over to Cubby Bear, which wasn't really set up to do a punk show and of the kind that we were gonna be having. So what happened was, during Flogging Molly's set, all of a sudden, like, everybody surged forward and the stage just started sliding away while the band are on stage just rocking. And there was our dressing room was behind it, and it just pinned the door, and we were just like locked in our room during this set. And when we finally got to come out, there were bouncers, like, they were pinned up against the wall, and they were up in the air with their feet up against the stage, like just pushing it out. It was wild. It was such a good time. Everybody loved it. Even the bouncers loved it. Like, everybody loved the whole thing. It was just like, it was a trip. It was so unforgettable.
It really was. It was one of those shows that just, I don't have the best memory, but that just ingrained itself in my head.
Yeah.
It was such one of those moments, and what a great time we had. I mean, I don't know how many people know this, but I remember we did the Warped Tour together. I think it was 2000 or 2001. Was it 2000?
Yeah, I'm almost positive the first one we did together was 2000.
Yeah, we were on the side fast stage. Friends.
And dude, if you remember that what was amazing about that stage, it was Anti Flag, Hot Water Music, Flogging Molly. Oh gosh, and there's some other band, like
One Man Army.
Oh, One Man Army on that stage. And wow, like, what, like, lifelong friendships made, like, right there. There was just, that was amazing.
Animal, remember Animal from Argentina?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. I hate to jump in and start talking about, punk rock stories. You're talking about
good old days.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess it's a welcome intermission.
Good.
Oh yeah.
These ultimately are PMA sessions to keep people's hopes up and dreams up, and good stories always help people, they get a smile out of it, and that's what we need in these times.
I tell you, Justin, I just appreciate your words so much, just remembering the humanity, whether it's not about nation or this nation. And there are aggressors. And of course, I would generally side with those that are not the aggressors. The core of my soul believes in non-violation as a guiding principle for all of us out here. So it's not easy, and I don't have any answers at all. I just really appreciate your message of humanity and not, just trying not to become polarized, us versus them. I think that's a big problem. It's gotten worse in the last 20 years, not better. And it's kind of breaks my heart to see that, it's subverted everything. Everything is divide and conquer now. And it's really, really sad to me. But I have not lost my hope or faith in the world and humanity. And hearing brothers like you speak that beautiful truth, to remember, you're not telling people how to think, just saying, hey, remember, these are human beings with families on either side of this conflict. And again, I'm not sympathizing with anybody. Other than any victims of violence in violation.
Well, right back at you, man. I agree, and with everybody here, and I think that's the beautiful thing about what Punk Rock Saves Lives does, right? Like, it also just and that's what I love about it. It's just reminding people, like, hey, we're human beings. Like, I love the fact, like, even the emblem, it's like, hey, we don't give a fuck about your color of skin or where you're from. Like, It's what's up here. It's what's in here. Do you care about being good to other people? That's why I wanted to be involved in it so much. And yeah, it's it's why Anti-Flag through the years, it was just, primarily I always saw Anti-Flag as just an anti-war band. That was the goal in the beginning. And of course, like over the years, you progress, you become so many different things, it changes the person. Yeah. But that for me has always been kind of a core value of it. And understanding, like, I've met so many people, like even just soldiers and people, I'm sure probably all of you three here on the screen have, and talking to them about like what it's really like to go to war and what that really does to you, and what you end up really caring about in the end, and it's just that it's really that humanity, and ultimately in the end, those issues of like nationalism, or where you were born, all those things kind of go away, and you realize it's about the people you love, the people you care about. Yeah, so I think that we're all hoping for the best with this, right? It kind of goes without saying. I'm sure everybody out there is heartbroken with this, but the one thing that I guess, like, if we're looking for silver linings, like, fuck it, it really did remind me of like, let's take care of those relationships that we have. Let's be good to the people we love. Let's reach out to, like Rob was saying early on. I woke up like the day after the major invasion. I really thought about that. I thought, like, I have to leave tomorrow. Who am I calling? Who's going with me? Who's that person that, like, I didn't say I love you today to? So let's make sure we do that, and I love Rob's idea, like, send 5 text messages this week to somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. Just it's like, hey, I miss you. Peace. Like, that's so cool, because it's my dad's 88th birthday. I don't know how many more of these I'll get with him. And I'm like, every day I see him, I leave him, I'm like, I love you, man. It's like so tight that he's still here. I lost my mom a couple years back. Like, you just, life is precious. And sometimes these terrible things, if that's the best that we get out of it, is that it reminds us of that fact. Like, let's do something positive with it.
That's man. And speaking of that, it is his birthday, and we've held you up here for almost 50 minutes. We could talk.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Yeah, we could really talk all night, but we like to keep it short and sweet. So I'm going to go into the closing stuff real easy. Look quickly, Nathan, what's going on? I know Flogging's got a little tour about to happen, and
oh yeah, baby, back on the road.
Not to sound crass, but I'm a crass person. It's a big fucking tour, man. Like, don't get me wrong, we did have a amazing fall tour that we were able to complete, and that was huge for us after not working for a couple years. And I know the whole industry understands that. But we recorded a new record in the fall with Steve Albini, where we recorded our first 2 albums, Swagger and Drunken Lullabies. So it's super exciting times for us. We really hope that we'll be able to actually get out there and do what we love to do, play music, travel, not only nationally, but internationally. It's been a long time coming. A lot of these tours have been pushed back 3 years that we're hoping to accomplish. And with the new record, and we're just very, very hopeful, and I'm very grateful to have that we were able to survive that period and be here now looking at a world tour with some amazing artists and a new record. And I mean, it's huge. I can't even I can't tell you how big of a deal it is for me personally. And just in my talk about mental health, I'm not going to lie. I personally went down a pretty gnarly place in the last couple of years. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think a lot of us did. I'm happy to say that I feel like I got some help. I talked to some people. I got through that for the most part. And I feel so fucking blessed. I know that's not a popular word in our community, but I feel so blessed to be here and to have this work ahead of us, to have this new music that we're so passionate about to share. Yeah, so it's not a little tour, man. It's a big fucking tour.
Sick, baby. Yeah.
Yep. That's amazing. And so St. Patrick's Day in LA outdoor show. It's going to be pretty rad. I think we'll be tagging along for that one for sure. And then we'll see you on the cruise ship for sure. We're working on some other stuff. And then also got to talk about Valoris. Nathan and Shelby have a badass new band, and you just recorded an album, correct?
Yeah, thank you, Rob. We did. Valoris is our new band, Shelby and I, and we went down to Sonic Ranch last week and recorded 12 new tracks. All just couldn't be happier about that. It was a very it was one of the best recording experiences I've ever had. Just very organic, just playing our best music, not trying to make it more than it needs to be. But I was just blown away by the session and very excited to share the new music with everybody. Yeah, it's definitely authentic to where we're at, what we're feeling. Yeah.
And if you have not heard Shelby sing, you should. It's honest voice of an angel. And that's, it's, and one of my favorite people too. So. I'm not biased on the fact that I'm biased. Yes. No, but let's round it out and get Justin to his dad's party. Every week I try to get something. Justin, is there anything that you've been reading, listening to, a podcast, music, anything that's kept you through the last few weeks that could help someone else and they should check out? Throw you on the spot right there.
Oh gosh. You really honestly, you really do have me on the spot here. I guess well, it's probably not there's a couple things, but they're not overly upbeat or is it too generic just to be like, I love, what I actually guilty is it a guilty pleasure? I don't know. I love listening to the NPR news quiz. Wait, don't tell me on some things.
No,
nothing wrong with that.
That's fun.
I'm like, this is like the most fucking NPR shit in the world, but coffee on Sunday morning. I actually look forward to that thing, sitting in my kitchen on Sunday morning. So it's pretty funny. And even when it's not funny, it's so dumb that it's funny. So yeah.
To make you laugh with that, Adam Siegel from the Faction and everything used to tell everybody that I was the only one that listened to NPR so loud in the car that it's so. And
I believe it.
Plus hearing damage, huh?
all the years driving around, I honestly sometimes listening to people talk keeps my brain going to drive better, if that makes sense. So NPR is a not secret addiction of mine. So Nathan, you've been in the studio recording yourself, but has there been anything that's been blowing your brain up?
No, I'm going to just be completely real. That a ritual that I got into, and again, guilty pleasure is what made me think of it. I don't know if any of you guys have Pandora, the streaming platform. I think it's kind of neat for what it is. And I've been starting every morning when I have my coffee. I've been starting with the song "It's a Beautiful Morning" by the Rascals. And I put that on Pandora, and it's like the coolest mix of old cool classic R&B, classic rock. I love it. It helps me start my day with a smile. Little rituals like that, and new little thing I just discovered. I've been putting maple syrup in my coffee. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's a superfood. And yeah. So I know it's probably not what you're asking, but I just that's totally gush, reminds me of when I was a younger punk rock dad and I'd be out on tour with Anti Flag or Casualties, Souls, and I'd be in a pretty hardcore punk rock setting. And don't get me wrong, I consider myself a punk rock guy, for sure, have for a long time. And I would be, in this bar, in this club, and I would truly be thinking about the Care Bears, because I'd be thinking about wanting to be with my baby, back home, right? And so that's just, I think, I'm just trying to be as honest and real with you guys as I can, because again, I'm a punk rocker because I say I am. I'm a human being because that's what I actually am,
Mm-hmm.
and a fully faceted human being that has all kinds of conflicting thoughts and experiences and desires and hopes and dreams, and they're not all conflicting, but I'm just trying to share that with y'all. That's
the human experience, man. That's right.
Yeah.
And I also think we should probably get a shamrock tattooed on our belly so we can say we're Care Bears.
Let's fucking do
it. All right, Dan, he led us right into you with talking about putting maple syrup in coffee. Dan's our coffee expert. What's been blowing your mind up the last few weeks?
Man, I've been on a roll with keeping myself posted on anything new released, especially within the punk community, from, like Rob mentioned at the start of this, Counterpunch's new single, to Bowling for Soup released one a week ago. Hot Water Music keeps throwing stuff at us. We might as well have a full album, coming out shortly. It's very great. Love Cresswell as well, in Chris Cresswell from Flatliners and Hot Water Music now. Phenomenal add-on.
Yeah, it's really cool. They're a 5-piece now. So
yeah, but for me, funny enough, this pertains to Justin. And to start it off, thank you, Nathan, for just being open and honest and genuine as you are with all you've been through, because these past 2 winters have absolutely been just the hardest thing, I think, for all of us. And I definitely would say that, 1 in 3 people suffer when it comes with whatever it may be, especially with anxiety and depression. And I feel like these past 2 years, we can proudly stand up and all say we all have, with the conditions we're in. And in 2020, in May, Justin on Bandcamp released something called Quarantine Covers. And that has been a go-to thing to this day for me, as often as I can, covering everything from Roots Radicals Rancid to the classic Redemption song Bob Marley, to an all-time favorite of mine, Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, the Ramones. And just you doing that has been a huge lifesaver for me these past 2 winters. Wow, and I'm very grateful to say that to you, because seasonal depression definitely affects us all. With not enough sunlight, with not enough getting outside, it's incredibly difficult. And to see what came out of it in an instant, not just 1 or 2 years later of an album, which obviously all bands are doing, but you took not even 2 months and dove right into it. And I'm very, very grateful for that from you.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I really, geez. Well, yeah, for anybody who took the time to listen, I'm really grateful that it was meaningful to you, because that means as much to me as it does to you. So that's the beauty of this, is that it's reciprocal. So it's a positive feedback loop here. So thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. How about you, Rob? How about you, buddy?
Well, it's been, I kind of had to think a lot about how to say this. I don't know. A lot of you follow us, and if you're on here, you probably do. The RV broke down on me in the middle of the Casualties tour, coinciding in the same day as a band that I really was admiring and a person I was admiring really letting us down and doing something pretty devastating. I've made a statement about it. I don't want to go into it anymore. I think all of the parties are trying to heal and figure their ways through that. But it put me in a big funk because I was truly heartbroken. I didn't see this person doing this. I think he's going to go. He's doing a lot to try to fix what happened and fix what happened inside of him. But I got in a funk, stuck in Dover, Delaware, in the RV, not working. And that happened. And then it was my birthday and I was by myself. And so I got in a pretty good funk, and what got me through it and has me going again is everybody here. It blows me away how many people checked on me, how many people donated to try to help get the RV fixed. All of it was really groundswell, ground roots, and it was pretty amazing. It's that got me through. I'm tearing up a little talking about it. But everybody out there, I thank you, and thanks for giving me the encouragement that I guess I'm an empath and I'm a believer. And when you believe in someone and they crush you by doing something incredibly stupid, we take it harder than some other people. Some other people can just write it off. I can't. I don't write things off. I hold them inside, and I drive myself insane until I get it out of me. And thanks to you guys, it got it out of me. And that's my PMA right now, is that, and I got to see right there before the RV broke down, I got to see Mac, one of our board members in Cincinnati, and our brother in PMA, Sammy K, lives with him now. So I got to, on a day off in Cincinnati, I got to go see Sammy K play some songs. So a lot of good stuff. The Casualties guys were unbelievable on the tour. David Rodriguez, if you don't know, the new singer, is quite possibly one of the best humans you'll meet. An incredible guy, and he's taken a band that got a bad reputation, and he's putting them back on. And we all deserve second chances. And eventually the kid in the situation I was talking about is going to find his way into earning a second chance. He's got a lot of work to do it. But sorry to be heavy at the end, but it is what happens to us. It's the human condition. And then this war, obviously, I worry on both sides. And like Justin said, it's, there are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. And, rooting for someone to die in any way, shape, or form is not what we're about. And I know that gets lost in some things sometimes. So be a human. Nathan said the beautiful word humanity a little while ago. And one of the best things about the word humanity is it's got the word human in it, and it's got the word unity in it. And you can't spell one of them without the other parts. So it's pretty amazing. So remember your humanity. Reach out if you need us. I want to thank Justin and Nathan for jumping in. I always love my brother Dan for being our spearhead on the mental health side. His daily quotes keep a lot of people afloat, and it's quotes floats.
I love those, Dan.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. It's amazing.
Thank you, man.
So many times.
Really
so many times I've come across, I'm like, this is exactly what I needed today. Thank you.
But like I said, if you're out on the West Coast tonight and you're in the Seattle area, stop by and say hello to my amazing wife and our volunteer Candace out there. They're with Grandson and Oxymorons, our brothers. Incredible guys. So go check that show out. Pairs are up there in Seattle this weekend too. I mean, right now, I think today. There's going to be they're all heading towards Denver. So if you're on that path, catch out some of those shows. Other than that, guys, Justin, go wish your dad a happy 88th for us. 88's a wonderful. Yeah. Yep. And that's amazing. I hope that means you've got those genes and we're going to have you.
I hope so. I'm not making predictions here, but we'll see.
And Nathan, thank you for jumping in, brother. I love seeing your face.
Great to see you all.
Heck yeah.
Love you all. Yeah. Love you, Dan, love you, Rob.
I close it up every week. One love, up the punks. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Peace, everybody. Good night.